Welcome back to another episode of The Cure for Cowardice. Now, today, I am feeling very lazy. And I would say that this is a human condition that everybody struggles with here and there. And the beauty of the job that I have right now, my main job, is I set my own schedule. So, if I want to go home and take a nap during this time, there's nothing stopping me. So I was sitting there in the parking lot of a gas station, wasting time, dicking around, on YouTube and whatnot. And I said to myself, you know what? I can go home, and I can take a nap, and I can do whatever else, and I can take the day completely off if I feel like it. But I have to stop by 10 businesses first. Now, all that means is there's probably about 40 or 50 within the little mile to 2 mile radius of me right now. So I am going to go stop by these 10, and then depending on how I feel after that, I may or may not go home. But instead of saying I'm not feeling it today, I'm just going to go home, I'm saying this is the minimum amount of work that is acceptable for today. And that's what I'm going to do. So, anyway, I'll let you know how it goes, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Welcome back to another episode of The Cure for Cowardice. Now, earlier today, I want to say 3 hours ago, I very, very, very much did not feel like working, which is something that we all struggle with. It's one of those human conditions. And I was really tired. I just wasn't feeling it. And I'm doing my main job, which means that I gotta be out and making introductions, putting on a good face for the company. I gotta be eloquent. I gotta be able to explain things quick. And long story short, I just wasn't feeling it. So I was sitting there wasting time, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do 10 stops, and when I'm done with those, I will go home. Because then it's if I only have to do 10 stops, by the way, there's way more than 40 or 50 spots nearby. The area I'm in right now is a gold mine. But, so I started going, and first place, nothing. Second place looked a bit more promising, nothing. Third place looked even more promising, nothing. And then, twice in a row, nothing. And then had a place that had multiple locations. So I was like, alright, great. That's good. So I went to their main place, started talking to the guy I needed to talk to, may or may not go anywhere. Next place after that is a much bigger client, and that looks like it may actually go somewhere. So that's even better. And then the place after that, I actually got one. And the place after that, I missed. And then place after that, I have some promise for. And I think the next place after that, I have a little bit of promise for. And basically, so I said I was going to do 10 stops, right? The funny thing is, when I said 10 stops, I didn't specify to myself whether or not it was 10 where I actually got to talk to somebody, where I was able to give them a card and there was actually some form of interest generated, or if it was just literally stopping at the place. So I decided that it would be real stops where I actually got to talk to somebody where there was actual real interest. So in totality, I probably actually stopped at 15 spots. But I got more done today and have so much promise and potential with what I did today in those 10 real stops that I did than I did yesterday or the day before or last week. And so it's like, by pushing myself when I really didn't want to do it, and I said, you know what, let me just do these 10, I actually did some things that could turn into really big sales for me. Some of them really, really big. And I guess it just goes to show, it's like, I've said before, don't quit when you're 3 feet from gold. But not only that, but it's like, sometimes you won't get anything. Like, I could have swung and missed 10 times, and that would have been that. And those are the dice that we roll with these things. But I knew that if I went out and I did 10 spots, the odds that one of them might be something were pretty high. And lo and behold, I did 10, and actually 3 or 4 of them are going to be something. So now it's 2 o'clock. I got very little I have to do for the rest of the day. I put in some really good work, and I get to go relax because I fulfilled my end of the bargain with myself. So I guess let this just be a lesson where if you're ever in a situation where you're like, today is just not my day, I'm really not feeling it, hopefully this shows that it's still worth pushing past. And instead of saying, I'm going to do it no matter what until this time, say, I'm going to do this many, and if it takes me an hour or if it takes me 5 hours, I'm going to go home when I'm done with it. And doing it that way, where it's based on the result and not based on the time, means that I am in control of it, and it motivates me to go and do it faster. Because if I said, well, I'm going to be out here till 4 o'clock no matter what, guess what? It's 2 o'clock. I got everything that I needed to get done today done with 2 hours to spare. And not only that, but had I decided to say, I'm going to go until 4 o'clock no matter what, guess what? I probably would have wasted a lot more time. Just like I was wasting time before I started even going. And so, make the result the goal, and it's okay to say when I hit this that I'm done. It's okay to say I'm not going to do as much today. But at the very least, set a standard for yourself and do not let yourself fall below that standard. And guess what? If it had taken me 10 hours to get those 10 places, number one, that probably would have meant that all 10 of them went great and that I was counting all of them. But number two, that would have been my own fault. And that would have been that. But I'm getting done 2 hours early. Now I get to go home and relax. And it's all because I didn't feel like doing it today. And so I set myself that goal. So anyway, the things that most people would consider to be what am I trying to say? So for instance, I was tired. I didn't feel like working. So instead of letting that drag me down the entire time and slow me down and mess up my mood and my energy and all that type of stuff, I used it as the fuel to push me faster and further. Because it's like, I don't want to be out here. I want to go home. I want to relax. And as soon as I get this done, I can do that. So let me go get this done quick. Let me still do it right. Let me not half-ass it, but let me just get this done quick so that I can go enjoy the rest of my day. And that's exactly what I did. So anyway, I think you get the point. Just, I don't know, just keep in mind, we only have so much time on this earth. And every single day that we call it early, where we didn't do as much as we should have that day, that's just one more day that we're behind from where we want to go. And it may not seem like a big deal, but they add up really quickly. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, I'll catch you all on the flip side.